Now time for Focus, and it is 27 years since the abolition of apartheid in South Africa. And yet even today there still exist communities of whites who refuse to mix with blacks. It is the case in the small city of Orania. There, the only language spoken is Afrikaans, the tongue of the first Dutch settlers. In Oriana's schools, students are taught a revisited version of history. And while many residents settled here to avoid any sort of ethnic diversity, while others appear to have fled the violence and new racial tensions of present-day South Africa.
An air of nostalgia looms over this small town of central South Africa. Here, most residents are Christian and everyone speaks Afrikaans. Today, 1,500 people live in this Afrikaner-only town. It even has its own currency and its own flag. Founded after the collapse of apartheid 27 years ago, figureheads of the racist regime are part of Orania's scenery.
Orania, Afrikaner settlement where we can create our own future, be self-sufficient. And now in the New South Africa, we have a black majority that's also not always very kind to the Afrikaners especially. So the idea was to have a place where we stay out of this.
An enclave for Afrikaners, the descendants of Dutch settlers. Farmer Anton ENSLIN moved to Orania 5 years ago and says he was evicted from his previous home. When his land was claimed by black South Africans, he accepted compensation from the government.
As soon as the land claim was published, the intimidation started. My father gave me the advice and said, Anton, let us sell the farm because we have to let go some of the land. We can't keep the whole South Africa for us. But now, all of us here is feeling safe. We are happy.
Anton might be happy, but he isn't reassured. He's concerned that he could be evicted again. The government plans to accelerate redistribution of land to black South Africans by expropriating white farmers. This time, there will be no compensation. Orania's residents are fearful their heritage could slowly disappear.
Je moet mij nou 'n bietjie wys wat jy besig is om te doen en sê as ek jou kan help met iets, wys my watter.
In this school, the students have two different syllabuses, the state's official program and Orania's version.
It is geography and history in one book from the viewpoint of the new regime, which is also subjective. This is more from our viewpoint, so they can compare the two and they can make their own opinion.
The town's syllabus makes no mention of Nelson Mandela, who they say isn't part of their history, a stronghold for Afrikaner culture. A group of workers who stopped by at this supermarket saw the town for the first time.
I think it's not a problem they are living alone, but we also feel like we have to live with them because we are all human beings.
No, it's actually sad for me to see a place like this. It's very small and live alone.
So is this the refuge for nostalgics of apartheid or the reflection of an unease among certain Afrikaners today? This couple is considering moving here, and the town is providing them with a house for a week before they take a final decision.
Dis al 28 jaar wat ek daar gebly het. Maar dinge raak maar net moeiliker vir ons in die sin van om werk te kry en
The local council has offered to assist Leonardo with setting up his electrical company. He says that the laws aiming to increase black employment have turned against white South Africans.
Where I'm staying, it's, to get work is so hard. And I think it's mainly because of my skin color.
It's getting worse and worse. I mean, like 15 years back, I went to the shop, I walked, I did what I want. Now I don't go alone anymore.
Last year, there were 57 murders in South Africa every day, a number that has been on the rise for the past 6 years. And meanwhile, Orania's population grew by 10%.
A special Focus report today from South Africa. I'll be back in an hour's time, but Will has the next hour of the programme, Will.
Yeah, Stuart, we're going to have more news after the break. Plus what you and Doug were speaking about, that Francophonie summit in Armenia. In attendance, some 84 countries representing over 250 million French speakers, including France's President Emmanuel Macron. We'll speak to our reporter at the event to find out just how significant this Francophonie summit is and if it's about more than just language. That's coming up after the break.